Welcome to our first return fixture of the season on Football Italia. Lazio against Sampdoria. And if the game's half as good as our opening day match at the Luigi Ferrari Stadium way back in September, we're in for something special.
Got a great footballing brain, Mancini. And across the area, and is it an own goal? Has it gone over the line? It has. They're intense one too. Here's Signori, and it's a goal! Signori has made it two. Has kept it in. Signori! And there's Jukovic. He's getting Sampdoria in the lead. Who's there? Oh, the back header has gone in! It's an own goal.
Such spectacular action has made the Italian game hugely popular in the UK. But is the British brand of football fitting in as well over there? Des Walker and Paul Gascoigne, two of the most talented players England has ever produced, must have mixed feelings. Despite being automatic choices at international level, both have had more than a few difficulties fitting into Serie A. Des has been a fixture in the Sampdoria defence, but he's struggled to find his feet in a backline which on paper is one of Serie A's strongest, but in practice is proving the opposite. Walker's even been tried at fullback, with unfortunate consequences.
Quite horrible mistake by Des Walker. Viekovot rattles his own crossbar.
But Des has battled on, and rumours that he or Sampdoria are unhappy seem to have more to do with the imagination of the British press than with the truth.
Secondo me Walker è un giocatore veramente bravo, era partito molto bene, poi ha trovato qualche difficoltà, ma adesso piano piano le sta superando. Penso che sia un'esagerazione così, quello che hanno scritto i giornali inglesi. Penso che tutto sommato, se guardassero bene le partite, vedrebbero che Walker stava disputando un buon campionato.
While Des has been the subject of mild speculation, the Geordie genius's every move is the object of intense media scrutiny. He's missed 7 games this season through injury, has been substituted 6 times in 10 outings, and has given only rare glimpses of the extraordinary talent that Lazio paid £5.5 million for. Which, according to the British press, meant he was coming home. Lazio's side of the story is very different.
Lui rappresenta l'uomo leader di questa squadra, rappresenta uno dei punti cardine del futuro di questa Lazio, e quindi vorrei da lui il massimo impegno, la massima serietà e la massima concentrazione, perché solo così si possono raggiungere dei grossi risultati.
So the message from Italy was clear. Gaza is fine. That was, of course, until last weekend, and the belch. For once, the British media hysteria was matched by the Italian reaction. Questions about Gascoigne's conduct were even raised in Parliament. So, now more than ever, he has to watch his step.
Un vero leader sa anche trovare i momenti giusti per esternare dell'umorismo, per esternare anche qualcosa di simpatico.
After missing last week's game against Juventus, Gaza was back in midweek action against Torino in the Cup. And this time, he let his feet do the talking. And this afternoon, he's back in the spotlight with his future at Lazio still under question. This could be one of the most important afternoons in Gaza's career.
I'm just really looking forward to the game, and hopefully I'd like to get back on the score sheet and be good back in the Championship. You know, the 1993 hasn't started too good for me. I can only hope that it gets on better.
It's an important afternoon for both clubs as well, and after 63 Serie A meetings, it's Lazio who will be approaching the game with a little more confidence. They were feeling confident at this time last season as well. At the halfway stage, Lazio were in the same position they find themselves today, 4th. Sampdoria was struggling, despite having beaten Lazio in Genoa. But by the end of the season, the tables had turned. Lazio slumped. Sampdoria improved, including a win in the Olympic Stadium towards the end of the season. Dino Zoff will be determined to prevent another slip-up this year, while Sven-Goran Eriksson desperately needs to move his side up the table. A UEFA Cup spot is their only chance of European football next season. Both coaches will be looking to shore up their defences. Both have already conceded 26 goals this term.
There's a chance for Muller. He has accepted it in tremendous form. Cracking goal. Too much ease and for Lazio's liking. Good cross it too, and Bayano's header. Batistuta! 1-0 Fiorentina.
Yet both have a man in form up front. At Lazio, Beppe Signori's goal-a-game average is the best in Serie A.
Signori, always is threat that they'll get caught again. Inter, Signori, he wants pace and he has finish. Bursting clear, and another one. Oh, it's another fabulous goal.
While the Sampdoria skipper, Roberto Mancini, often seems to be running things single-handed.
Vukovic now has Mancini ahead of him. It's Mancini! Rossi with a great save. Vukovic going in strongly, Lombardo. Vukovic whipping over the cross. Oh, the header off the bar. Mancini. Fabulous header. Now Viakabon. And Carini outside him. Chose up the other route. Mancini! And a fearsome drive on the volley by Mancini.
He had some help last week. Midfielder Eugenio Carini scored the only goal of the game against Brescia and secured Samp's first league win of the year. Meanwhile, Signori suffered a rare lapse against Juventus, missing a third-minute penalty. Roberto Baggio added insult to injury 10 minutes later. But club captain Roberto Cravero hopped up to save a point for Lazio. They've been looking to make it maximum points today. So join us after the break for an English head-to-head as Paul Gascoigne tries to find a way past Des Walker when Lazio plays Sampdoria live.
Good afternoon from Peter Brackley. We're in the second half of the Italian League season, and everyone, of course, hoping that today's offering, Lazio against Sampdoria, will be as scintillating as when they met back on the opening day of the campaign. No Gaza that afternoon, but this time England's controversial star is in. Dino Zoff, Lazio's coach, was naturally none too impressed with the infamous belching incident last Sunday, but he was obviously very satisfied with Gaza's excellent display against Torino in Thursday's cup tie. And he's chosen him in the lineup ahead of Thomas Dole. A bit of a surprise there. Well, Gaza plays, and facing him is England teammate Des Walker. He's in the Sampdoria side, so it's a match that has particular English interest, quite apart from the enticing qualities of a fixture between two teams who've generally been rather more successful going forward than they have been in defending. Well, as well as including Gaza, Zoff has had to make at least one other change. The young defender Favoli is suspended, so Bacci switches to fullback with Sklosa drafted into midfield. Gaza wears the number 10 shirt. Now the other two foreigners then, Arend Winter from Holland and the other German player, Karl-Heinz Riedler. Thomas Dole dropped for the first time in his Lazio career. Well, Sampdoria are without two suspended players today, Italian international Lana and Carini. They're both missing. But Viercovod, who was surprisingly recalled by Italy for the recent friendly with Mexico, he returns after a one-match ban, partnering Walker in the heart of the Sampdoria defence. In midfield, Katanec from Slovenia starts a league game for only the third time this season. It's a cold but sunny afternoon in Rome. A big crowd, of course. And Paul Gascoigne, once more the centre of attention. It's only the 11th league game that he's started for Lazio. And he plays this one under a definite cloud. He's had strict instructions from the club owner, Sergio Cragnotti, to behave with a little more dignity when representing Lazio in public. I'm trying to build a team of champions, he says, off the field as well as on it. The referee today is Roberto Bettin. And they certainly were strong words from the Lazio president. Very powerful man, and the message to Gaza is clear enough. Any repeat of Sunday's incident, and he's going to be in serious trouble. Alongside me in the commentary position today is the former AC Milan player, and now, of course, with Queen's Park Rangers, Ray Wilkins. So, Ray, your thoughts on the match ahead of us now?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. I think we're in for an excellent game, as we normally are every Sunday here with the Italian football. The interesting part, from my point of view, is to see Paul and Des Walker on the same field. It's nice to see two of our own lads playing against each other. A lot of the talk has been about Paul Gascoigne, but we do have Des Walker there as well, who in his own right is a world-class defender, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to seeing how he performs this afternoon.
Sampdoria in the darker blue shirts, attacking then the goal to our left, and we do apologise for the quality of the pictures that you're receiving at the moment. Hopefully we can put that right in a minute or two. Excellent atmosphere in the stadium. This is Lombardo for Sampdoria. A real need for both these teams to impose themselves consistently in the second half of the season. Both have shone on occasions, faltered alarmingly on others. A UEFA Cup place will be the main target now. Lazio, who've lost only one of the last 7. Sampdoria's victory over Brescia last weekend was their first success in 8. This is Bacci, wearing 3 then for Lazio. Normally plays in a midfield anchor role, but he's a very versatile player. So he slots into that vacancy made by Favali's suspension. But Ray, a word on the exclusion of Thomas Doll.
I find it a little bit of a shame, actually. I think Thomas Doll is possibly one of the best players in the Italian First Division. He's had an exceptional season. They may actually even be giving him a rest. I think he's the only one of the 4 that hasn't been left out. So he's played a lot of football, and with the 4 foreigners, he may be having a Sunday off.
Well, there was talk last week that if Gaza had been fully fit, he would have played and Doll would have been left out then. But with Gaza not making the starting lineup, Riedler and Doll both played. Aaron Winter seems to be an automatic choice. Aliuka, the goalkeeper for Sampdoria, and indeed the Italian national team keeper. Shot from Fuser. And drifting well wide. Fuser, another key man in the Lazio side. He'll be operating wide on the right, and very much a favourite of yours, Ray.
Yes, I think he's had an exceptional season, and I think Milan may well be looking over their shoulders. I think they sold him very cheaply. Going back to the Winter situation, I think Winter, of the 4 foreigners, is the more defensive-minded. He sits in that midfield position a la Rijkaard and does an exceptional job for Lazio, and I think this season he's had a very good time.
Lazio today, incidentally captained by Sclosa as the oldest member of the squad, and the Provero was skipper last week, but the armband taken over by Sclosa. That will make you captain of a few teams, Ray, if it had to be the oldest player around.
I don't know whether it's been the oldest player. Thanks very much, but I don't know whether it's been the oldest player, Peter, or it's the player the longest serving at the club, and Sclosa would certainly be that.
I think he fits both bills, actually, around 31 now. Sclosa,
still a young man.
Well, yes. I know a chap who's still playing at 36. Carino, swapping banter with Bertarelli. Bit of a surprise, Bertarelli being in the Sampdoria side. There's still no spot for Renato Busso, the young man who made such enormous strides early on in his career. Mancini, Lombardo was arriving at the far post. Comfortably claimed, though, by Fernando Orsi, who continues to keep Fiori out of the Lazio side. Manini, a little fortunate. Free kick to Lazio, taken by Sklosa. This is Bacci. Now Gascoigne, a lovely touch. I only saw glimpses of the match against Torino, but he shows some tremendous little touches of his genius, which there's no doubt he has. Dispossessed though by Lombardo. And as much as his skill rates, the spirit that Gascoigne shows that I think has impressed Lazio so much.
Yes, that's right, and I think as soon as he got in possession of the ball, you could hear the crowd was roaring as soon as he got hold of it. But he used his common sense, actually. He got to the edge of the box and he came up against Aldez, and I think he realised he wasn't going to run in down the line, and he turned out and was a bit unfortunate. I think he stumbled over the ball.
This is Katonets. Can't be a very effective player, but he's had a lot of problems with injury, the man from Slovenia. And we're still having problems with the pictures, I'm afraid. So we do apologise for that. Hope it's not spoiling your enjoyment. Fuser, caught though by Katonets, who acknowledges the fact. Free kick then to Lazio.
Yeah, it was nice play from Fuser. Took a nice first touch and just let Katonets come in and towed it past him. He did very well.
Gascoigne taking the free kick, combining with Vinter. Carino in strongly. Very abrasive defender, Carino. As the Juventus players fell to their cost last week. Katonets away from Signori, his opposite number, Lombardo. Here's Carino for Lazio. Fairly cautious start by both teams. Bertarelli, Katonets, now then for Invernizzi. Fairly rare start this season for Invernizzi, but he has been a regular in the past. Gascoigne with the pass. Now Signori, so dangerous around the penalty box. Good cross in two, and a goal. Riedler at lost his first goal of the season, and what joy he has taken from that. The gamble of including him has paid off. Riedler with the first goal for Lazio.
Well, Riedler's an exceptional player, Peter. It was started by Paul, and Paul put a good ball into the corner. Great running off the ball from Signori. But that's a super cross, missing out the first defender, but what a header. He's actually got above Des at the near post and plants that firmly in the back of the net. It really is a super goal. He jumps early, and I think that impeded Des. He couldn't get off the floor. And there it is, the ball nestling in the back of the net. Great stuff.
His first goal since April of last year, would you believe? That's how long he's had this barren spell. And that will give him such a lift now, Riedler. He was very close to scoring last week, often winning the ball in the air in similar situations, actually, against Juventus. Couldn't finish it off. Well, this time he has. 6 minutes gone. Lazio 1, Sampdoria 0. And it's Karl-Heinz Riedler with the opening goal.
He's not the tallest man in the world either, Peter. The thing with him, he jumps early and he gets in good positions. He pulls off defenders very well, and he finds himself with free headers a lot of the time. But that one he made for himself, and he's just one of those centre-forwards that comes off this German treadmill, as it were. They seem to get a load of these guys that are very, very good at losing defenders.
And we've said it before, it's all about timing with the aerial power of players like Riedler. And the comparisons are drawn with David Speedy, for instance, who's certainly not the tallest of players.
Yes, and David's exceptional in the air. He's a nuisance when you play against David, because you tend to put a marker against him of a similar height, but he jumps a lot higher than his height. He's a very good attacking player.
Lombardo. Well, we had 6 goals the last time they met. Let's hope we're in for a similar avalanche today. Vinter, Crivero, and it was from Sacchetti, just 20 years old, in the Sampdoria side. Crivero. Now Vinter. There was Gascoigne's little flick off towards Fuser. On from Sklosa. Now Signori drifting wide, Riedler's in the middle, and Fuser too. And surely obstruction then by Manini. Well, no, the referee waves play on.
I thought rightly so as well. He read the situation well, the referee. So Signori was he was looking for that all the time.
Victor Gascoigne off on one of those mazy runs. Quickly back on his feet. Little pat on the face of Vierkevod, which I wouldn't advise. So wound up again, Gaza, really immersed in the game. And the president of the Football League of Italy, no less, Luciano Mazzola, has been quoted this week as saying, Gascoigne, he's irresistible, he's fantastic, he goes past defenders with incredible ease, he's a genius. High words of praise indeed. Ten minutes gone. Fuser is there. That's Signori. Fuser took the deflection. Only partially cleared by Vierkevod. And the free kick given to Sampdoria. Aliuka, who's having another outstanding season. It's been a long time since he's missed a game. I think nearly 2 years now. And he's been a model of consistency. Despite the frailties that Sampdoria have shown at the back this season. No blame could be attached at the door of Aliuka. Sakiti. Stoesa, hard-working player, finding Signori. It goes so strongly and positively, but not to the referee's liking.
I can't see where that was a foul. He's come in cool and he's made a very good tackle. Probably the manner in which he was steaming up alongside him that caused the referee to blow up.
Vierkevod, recalled by Italy for that friendly with Mexico a couple of weeks back at the age of 33. And it certainly created quite a talking point. We apologise for the continuing problems with the cameras from our Italian friends. Let's hope they can sort it out soon. Vierkevod to Catanets. Sampdoria, who've had just the 2 away wins so far this season. Catanets has missed most of the campaign through injury. Now Walker. Got himself in a bit of a tangle, but got away with it. Vierkevod. That's Sakiti in support, may not need it though. Then tamely to the path of Crivero. Here's Gascoigne now. Full of confidence. Dramatically appealing for the foul, which is given. What's he doing now?
I think he's asked the ref for a piece of chewing gum. That just about sums him up, doesn't it? That was good play though by Paul. He kept his body in between himself and, or should I say, the defender and the ball. He did very well. He was waiting for the defender to come onto him, but just brushed him aside with his. And he does have immense power, and that's one of his assets.
On from Manini. Free kick coming though against Sampdoria. Now what happened here? It's chewing gum. Did he ask him in Italian, Ray, I wonder? Because he's learning. He's learning.
Well, that's good. It's very important that he learned as well. Let's hope he did ask him in Italian.
Not sure about that Italian chewing gum though. Away by Luzzardi, who's the strong man at the back. For Lazio, having taken over the role from Gregucci. He's only among the substitutes today. Scolissa. Incredible dive, but he was certainly tripped.
I think you've just seen the difference between the two sides in the first 10 minutes. Lazio have started at a pace. They actually want to win the game. Sampdoria have been very disappointed in the early stages. They really haven't taken the game by the horns at all. And it's all been Lazio. In the middle of the field and up front, Sampdoria are pretty negative. And I think if they continue to play like this, then they're going to find themselves one or even more goals down.
Crivero. Fuser. Return then by Victor. He was caught by Jugovic, but the referee sensibly allowing the advantage. Here's Victor. Now then for Fuser. No way forward for him. It's closer. Just too long though for Gascoigne. Time for Luzardi. Rubachi got himself into trouble. Lombardo. Now Signori. That was a late tackle. That's a yellow card. Signori caught. Jugovic, I think, the offender. Signori, very much the danger man, and he was yanked to the ground then by Jugovic.
Yes, a lovely piece of skill as well, Peter, wasn't it, on the volley, just looping it over Jugovic's head. And a little bit of frustration creeping into Jugovic, because I don't think he's actually touched the ball this afternoon, and he pulls him down.
So the first caution of the game to Jugovic, who's having a splendid season for Sampdoria. And indeed the coaches in Serie A have just voted him the best of the new foreigners. Second, incidentally, Aaron Winter of Lazio. So the skills of Jugovic very much appreciated around the Italian scene. Vierkovon. Cantonets. One back though by Closer, then Fuser. Gascoigne's little touch. Signori. Off goes Gaza. Now Fuser. Strong and positive player. On his way to goal was blocked by 3 Sampdoria defenders. Interesting to compare Fuser and Lombardo today on the opposite flanks. Lombardo on the right for Sampdoria, Fuser for Lazio. 2 players whose careers have certainly taken off and haven't yet really impressed Arrigo Sacchi, the coach of the Italian national team. Now Envolizzi. Mancini. Closer was there though, helped by Crivero. Now Manini loves to go forward. He's got the opportunity here. Lombardo, another very direct player. In goes Bertarelli. And he twisted it, couldn't get his cross into any real effect.
To the side netting Bertarelli, but just before that Lombardo had actually played the ball in and stopped. I think had he come onto the ball and taken it from Bertarelli, he may well have got a shot in on goal. But that's a bit better from Sampdoria. At least they're attempting now to get forward and play some football. It's basically been one-sided up to now, and I'm sure they'd like to think that they could pick it up. There for me has been one of the players of the season, Mancini. I think he's had a magnificent season in a time when Sampdoria are trying to build another championship winning side. He really has played to an exceptionally high standard, and he's had a great season up to now.
Missing, of course, his great partner Vialli, now with Juventus. But nonetheless, Mancini in sparkling form in the campaign so far. As has been this fellow, that Jugovic, who can really strike a ball from distance. But this time didn't get hold of his shot. Easy for Orsi, who was left out of the cup tie in week. Fiori coming back at goal, but he made a pretty dreadful blunder for Torino's equaliser. The 2-2 draw did Fiori, so he's back out of favour again. Although I don't think he would have played anyway, because Orsi has been doing so well in the league side. Winter slotting it on, and Fuser straight offside.
That's one of the qualities of Winter. You saw him picking up a ball there that had been cleared by Vierkovon. He does that very well. He backs up the play all over the field, and I think that's why he's become so invaluable to Lazio.
Yes, Glenn Hoddle was with us as a summariser last week. It was evaluating the respective merits for the foreigners. And he was saying perhaps Vinto was the least productive of the four players. He wasn't injured, by the way, Glenn. He got away without an injury, right?
He's
Lombardo.
I think he's the least spectacular. But he's very well disciplined, and I think that's the thing that you find from the Dutch and the German players. They are very well disciplined, and you've seen over the years a number of Dutch and German players in Italian football, and I think that's what the coaches like. I like the players every now and then to be very well disciplined, and Vinter is one of those guys.
Now Mancini. Lombardo laying it back to Invernizzi. Jugovic. Lombardo trying to turn. Now Gascoigne. Always a cheer when he's in possession. So the fans clearly love him. And he himself says he's well settled with Lazio. Has no thoughts about returning home. Whatever all the newspapers may be saying. Fuser. 20 minutes gone. Lazio leading by a goal to nil, and the goal from Karl-Heinz Riedler. His first of the season, indeed his first since April of last year. Classic header. And Gascoigne played his part in the build-up. Mancini now. Mancini was recalled to the Italian national team for the match against Mexico, and they played him right up front, pushing Signori wide. Baggio in support too. What do you feel, Ray, about the best position for Mancini?
I like to see Mancini play just off of a main striker. I think not only is he a great goal scorer, but he is also a great maker of goals as well. And that's where he comes into his own, as far as I'm concerned. He's had a very good season, and I'm sure playing up front or playing just deep, it wouldn't really bother him. But I would like to see him play slightly deeper.
Walker almost got caught in possession. Had a couple of games at left back recently, Des Walker, one indeed which we featured. He's out of position there. It's in the centre that it needs to be. And Sampdoria themselves say they're quite satisfied with his general form.
And I think they should be too. I think it was only the fact that Lana had a little moan up that he was a central defender and not a left back. He's a naturally left-sided player, and that meant that Des came out of the centre to play at left back, which was slightly unfair on him.
Jugovic, played by Luzzari, going as far as Katowice, then he lost it to Riedler. It's closer to tidy up for Lazio. He didn't do so very well. Could be a chance on here. Pettarelli almost held back. He's half-heartedly appealing. I thought he might have had a case then.
It was brilliant football from Mancini. He feinted to cross on several occasions, but didn't. Kept running it into goal. He actually cut back a very, very good ball, and it may well have been that Bertarelli was held back.
Dino Zoff, the legendary coach of Lazio. Here's Mancini's run.
Yeah, that was a great run. A good ball back as well. No, I think he just swung and missed, and I don't think he can be complaining too much there.
Seeing on the replay, certainly wasn't held back.
I think from Lazio's point of view, Peter, the fact that they've had so much of the ball and so much territorial advantage, they've got to start turning it into crosses and shots on goal. I think we can safely say that the goal from Riedler was come from one of the only crosses that Lazio have actually got in the box. They do have the players up front that will scare any defence in the Italian league, but it's up to them to get the ball forward and for these guys to make runs off of defenders and get into positions where they can receive the ball. They've had so much of the ball, but we really haven't seen enough goal-mouth action.
It is a very attacking Lazio side. We were looking through the list. I mean, really from 7 through to 11, they've got 5 very positive players.
Yeah, they're very talented. Very, very talented indeed. That's why I like Dole. I think Dole makes things happen when he gets around the box. He's been a very, very consistent performer this year, and I was a little bit saddened to see that he wasn't playing today.
Well, Crivero clearly has a problem. A sweeper in the Lazio side, so maybe some readjusting for Dino Zoff to do. He's obviously in pain. Crivero, who Scored, of course, against Juventus last week. His first goal in Lazio's colours, having arrived after many seasons with Torino. Free kick to Sampdoria. Just beginning to impose themselves now, with Mancini threatening to take a bit of control.
Yes, they are creeping back into the game, and the more he gets involved, the more they will do so. Privero seems to have hurt his shoulder. Hopefully that cheer is the fact that he's come back onto the field.
Now Jugovic lining up the free kick. 5 in the Lazio wall. Jugovic drives it straight into it. Invonizzi. Lombardo sneaking in on the blind side. "25 minutes into the first half. Lazio leading Sampdoria by a goal to 0. Lombardo with the pass, and Mancini had just wandered offside despite his protests. Just hearing that Inter have taken the lead against Udinese. Inter in second place behind Milan, of course, at the top of the table. Darko Panchev has scored. I think that's his first for Inter.
And that's very pleasing to hear that as well, Peter. Poor old Darko Panchev's had a bit of a torrid time since he joined Inter, and that's nice to see him get on the score sheet. And hopefully his performance will really pick up. I'm very pleased for him.
There was confirmation this week that Sammer, the German, is returning to Germany from Inter. He hasn't really been a success, and certainly there's speculation that Panchev won't be staying either once the season is over. For all foreigners, Ray, it takes a bit of settling in Italy, as you know yourself.
It takes an enormous amount of settling, Peter, that's right. And it's, you know, when they're talking about you through the daily papers that you're actually leaving the club, you're only halfway through the first season you've been there, it's quite disturbing as well, and it's hard to keep your form going and your concentration.
Signori now. The lack of concentration from Sacchetti. Signori has lightning pace, tackled by Bierkova. And the referee just turned away and turned down those penalty appeals. Well, a rueful smile from Bierkova.
Well, I thought it was a penalty looking at it the first time, and I think this replay will show that it was a penalty. Without a doubt, he's brought him down, he's beaten Bierkova. Bierkova tackles with his wrong foot, tackles with his left foot coming across his right. He should have allowed it to ball to run across and tackle with his right foot.
Fuser, good early ball in. Riedler almost on the end of it. Cleared by Bierkova, only as far as Sklosa. There's Walker. Sampdoria playing with a flat back 4. No sweeper in the side. Jugovic, lovely ball up to Lombardo. And good defending by Lazio. Manini. Victor, and a technical clearance that came back off Lombardo. A real scare for Sampdoria at the other end, but their own confidence has been growing. Dino's off. Will feel his team should have had a penalty. Signori, of course, missed from the penalty spot last week against Juventus, but he did score against Torino in the cup tie. Off one pace again. What about that penalty technique, Ray?
Yes, I've got a theory about it, actually. I couldn't take them myself like that, and not that I take a lot of penalties, but I think the closer you stand to the ball, the less time you give the goalkeeper to react. As you're taking a longer run-up, I honestly feel that goalkeepers have a little bit more time to adjust, see where you're going, have a little look at your eyes as well, because the eyes are very important. But when you're very close to the ball, and you strike it firmly, it's very difficult for goalkeepers to save, but he made a magnificent save last week.
It's closer. Fuser to Gascoigne. Little shimmy and a dummy. Now Fuser. That was very nearly an excellent cross to Riedler. Victor. Now Signori. Well, he scores most of his goals with his left foot, but that was a smacking drive with his right.
That was super football. Again, Fuser passing it through to Gascoigne, and Paul spotting the run of Fuser, who got in another good cross, but it was an exceptional header from Des. I think about 2 minutes beforehand, we said that Vieca would have cleared a ball. It was actually Des that had got above Riedler and got it away, and that's the second very, very important header he's made.
Cantonets.
But it's nice to see Sampdoria coming back in the game. They're taking the game to Lazio a lot more, and they put in Venezia in the side into the middle of the field. I honestly thought that he would go in there and play man for man on Paul, but that hasn't actually happened.
Signori bursting away. Is this going to be a goal? Good save by Paliuca. Very quick to react. Fuzer, shooting chance for him. That took a little deflection. And Signori, a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, that was a wasted opportunity. He did so well as well to rob Vieca Wood of the ball, and he was away like a rabbit, and he was bearing down on him, and I think he honestly felt in one-on-one situation he should have scored.
Mancini. Maybe something brewing here for Sampdoria. Teasing defenders out. In goes Jugovic. This is gone though. Free kick to Sampdoria. Oh, Vieca Wood there. That was the mistake. Signori tearing away.
Signori's going down on his right foot there, and he tried to do the goalkeeper, but he saved that very well as Paliuca.
Well, Eriksson, the coach, was saying beforehand he's the man that Sampdoria fear. Signori says he's heard good things about him while he was still out in Portugal with Benfica, but never imagined he could turn into such an outstanding player. And there's no question about that. Signori with 17 goals this season. That's just in league football, 23 in all games, and that in 23 appearances. Free kick fired over the top from Jugovic.
Well, that really is fantastic going from Signori. He's worked his way into the national side as well, but he had an exceptional season last year with Foggia, and Foggia were a really good attacking football side, and Lazio did well to pick him up, and he's performed very, very well this season.
Just to mention there, Foggia playing Milan today, and we plan to bring you the goals, if there are some from that game, later in the show. And we certainly predict goals. It was 8-2 to Milan last season in that fixture. Defence is well on top, I'm sure. Lombardo. Vieca Wood. Jugovic. Jugovic missing his normal partner in midfield, Carini, who's out through suspension today.
Yes, I think they really are missing Carini as well. Carini is a nice footballer. He's only a young man, but he gets hold of the ball and he starts people playing, and he gets people playing. And I think with the introduction of Venezia, who basically is a defender, they are losing a little bit of craft in the middle of the field.
Sacchetti, straight though to Sklosa. Ambitious pass, no chance for Signori or Riedler. The front two for Lazio. Signori, who wears size 5 boots, would you believe? Amazing the power he gets. Lombardo taking the throw for Sampdoria. This is Mannini, Italian international right back. Rosati was in very firmly. Sacchetti again. Gascoigne in pursuit. Just got his foot in too. Now Mancini twisting and nearly exposing Lazio defenders. Now Gaz has lost it. Lombardo. An open game, Ray, as we thought it would be.
Yes, it really is an open game. The only thing that we are lacking is a lot of goal-mouth incident, and hopefully in the second half we'll get a lot more of that, because Sampdoria definitely come back a lot more into this game, and in the second half I'm sure we'll see them push further forward and try and get that the equaliser they search for.
Vieca Wood has advanced for the free kick. Nowhere near to it though. As Imbonizzi gets his sights totally wrong.
Yes, as I was saying before, I thought he might have come in and played man for man against Paul, but he hasn't done so. He's just gone in there and attempted to play as a midfield player, and things really haven't worked out for Sampdoria in that department.
Sklosa. Now Signori to Vinta, who's there. Quickly closed down, but time to get his cross in. It was dealt with by Vierkovon. Fuzer, Winter. Silky touch, but outmaneuvered by Jugovic. All just a little untidy for a moment. Until the free kick is given to Sampdoria for the foul by Carino. He doesn't give too much away, apart from free kicks now and again. Lombardo. Now here's Gascoigne. Bacci. Positive run here by Bacci, who made a similar excursion last week against Juventus to no avail. Now Lombardo with Bacci stranded upfield, trying to get back. Mancini, lovely flick on. Swept in, but the flag was up. Bertarelli tucked it away delightfully, but the flag was already up.
Oh, it's great vision from Mancini. Yeah, Bertarelli had strayed offside, but look at this little pass now, look. In it goes. That's a beautiful pass. And a great piece of finishing, but unfortunately it's offside.
Well, that will do the confidence of Bertarelli no harm. It's a real battle on for that number 9 shirt in the Sampdoria side. They've tried various players up alongside Mancini. No one has really come off so far. Busso, disappointingly, he's only on the bench. Now Gascoigne's chip, covering by Vierkovon. He's still pretty quick at 33.
Yes, he has lightning pace, and that's where he and Des do so well at the back for them, because they don't play with a sweeper because they've got so much pace there.
Fuzer. This goes Mancini. Yes, Eriksson, the coach, was expecting Sampdoria to be a lot tighter than they have been defensively. He said at the start of the season, we have a formidable defence. I'm sure we're only going to concede a few goals. Well, in fact, they've let in 26 at the halfway stage. Same total, incidentally, as Lazio, but they've scored 5 more. Two teams level on points. Rivero has Bacci wide. Bright sunshine in the Olympic Stadium. Now by Manini on Riedler. Gascoigne. Hoping to produce a moment of sorcery. And he's got the foul.
Bit lucky that time, I think, Paul, getting a foul out of that. He seemed to overdo it and just got hustled out of it, really. But fortunate to pick that one up.
Now Gascoigne with the free kick. Should get towards Riedler. And Paliuka plucking it out of the air. Lovely ball there from Gascoigne. And another typically fierce header from Riedler, but almost produced another goal.
That was brilliant football. You could actually see when Gascoigne was on the ball with the camera angle that we had, you could actually see him staring at Riedler, and then all of a sudden it was as if they'd done it in training so many times. Riedler pulls off of Des, and it's a superb ball from Paul that picks him out, and it's a good save from Paliuka in the finish.
Close up. Now here's an interesting scoreline. We're hearing that Foggia have taken the lead against Milan. Bresciani with that first goal. So often, of course, Milan have come from behind. So I wouldn't rule that out today.
I think Foggia did that last year, Peter.
Yeah.
They went 2-0 up and got 8-2, I think.
Don't forget the goals from that game at the end of the programme. The towering figure of Catanets is always a threat on these set pieces, especially with the vision and accuracy of Mancini. Walker's back pass. Paliuka couldn't dwell on it too long. Mancini had time to turn. Time to shoot too, but no venom behind that one. Goal for Juventus against Cagliari. And it's Roberto Baggio. Who else? That's his 12th of the campaign. Baggio in excellent form at the moment. And as I said, he actually played up front with Signori in the Italian side recently, and Mancini. A lot of options for the coach Saki. And everybody has their own idea, I think, of where Baggio should play. Now, Sacchetti's cross. Vinter. Is Signori. Trying to shake off the attentions of Sacchetti. It's closer losing out. Catanets. He's working hard, Ray. Catanets.
Yes, he always works hard, Catanets. I think that's one of his strong points. He does get up and down the field a lot. It's a great shame, actually, that he's had the knee problems that he's had. Because when he first arrived in Italy, he was a bit of a revelation, and unfortunately, he hasn't played as much football as he should have done.
5 minutes to the end of the first half. Just the one goal scored by Riedler for Lazio on 6 minutes. And there's been a second goal, though, in the match involving Inter. They're 2 up against Udinese, and it's a penalty from Ruben Sosa.
That was a poor decision from the referee there. Bertarelli was actually off and running there, and he's called him back. He should have allowed the advantage there.
Rivero with the clearance after Lombardo had threatened to squirm through. And Lombardo then taking the throw, looking for Mancini. Just found that little bit of space for himself. Now Gascoigne to Fuser. Closed out though by Invernizzi. Fuser, bad touch. Lombardo. Bertarelli through the middle. And also Mancini here, tugging the strings. Now a little reverse pass. Manini. Came Orsi. Good build-up though by Sampdoria. Mancini inevitably involved, and Manini almost on the end of it.
Yes, that really was good football. I think it was Jugovic who played the back heel through. Nice play from Mancini. Good play from Jugovic, and it was just a bit too far in front.
Now, Sklosa. Riedler's hucked back, and Sklosa was going nowhere, really. Here's that chance again.
Yes, a lovely little touch, but it's just got a bit too much pace on it for Manini to get. Sklosa. Yeah, that's poor play from Sklosa. He's actually got a yard in which to hit that around. I think it was Des that come out to meet him. He's got to whip that round. He's never going to beat Des with pace. He should have whipped it round him early for Riedler in the middle, because Des was obviously out of the middle. Therefore, there was another tall guy away from the danger zone.
Vinter to Fuser. And after that early promise, Ray, the first half hasn't really lived up to expectations, has it?
No, there's been a lot of sloppy play, Peter, in the first half. Players giving balls away when they shouldn't really have done so. And I think it's marred what could have been a very good first half.
Walker, again, good anticipation from him. Now facing Gascoigne. It's closer. Vinter. Catanets battling away. Such a tigerish player. Around 6'3", 6'4". Catanets. Manini. Bertarelli. Held it up well. Mancini. Orsi was only just there first. Great little ball through towards him from Bertarelli. Jugovic. Mancini. Well, he specialises in the overhead kicks, the bicycle kicks. Not this time.
Yes, I think that was a little bit ambitious, that one. The ball was going away from the goal. But he does specialise in that. Mancini may well have been better off pulling that down and taking a touch on it and using a bit of his very close and good natural ability.
Fuser. Beaten though by Invernizzi, who was snapping away at him. There's the pass for Bertarelli, and well, there was no offside flag.
No, there was no offside, and I think a natural centre forward would have been bearing down on the goalkeeper there to put him under much more pressure than Mancini.
This is Manini. Poor pass though. Off goes Fuser, patrolling the right flank. Often seems to be one too many though for him to take on.
Yeah, I think that's the reputation that he's carrying at the moment, though, Peter. He started to really perform, so they start to double up on him, and that's full credit to him for performing at such a high standard.
Cantonets. Luzardi, though, was there. Winter not quite finding Gascoigne. Cross came Sacchetti. Lombardo on the chase. Terrific burst of speed by Lombardo. Mancini, as he pulled it back too far. Lombardo won't appreciate having to fetch that one. We're now into injury time at the end of the first half. Luzardi only half away, in Invondizi, and pulling a good save out of Orsi.
Yes, it was a good save. It bounced just in front of him. I think it also took a deflection as well, so that was a nice save from Orsi.
Hasn't scored this season, in Invondizi, but he's been very involved in this first half, and he certainly tested Orsi. Manini, another marauding run down that Sampdoria right. Just though taking it too far. But they clattered into the boards, and both players, I think, injured in the process. Sklosa and presumably Manini.
Yeah, it was a bit of a run, and Manini obviously had to try desperately to get the ball across. And Sklosa was just trying to shepherd him off the field. The boards don't look that solid, actually, so let's hope there's not too much of a problem.
Well, both players off the field, so the referee, though I'm sure not disinterested, certainly wants to get on with things while they receive attention. A player from each side off the field. Almost then at the end of the first half. Bertarelli. This is Cantonets, who has support from Lombardo. Jugovic had gone wide. Mancini, lovely little turn again. Lombardo brought down. Right on the edge of the box, so there's danger here for Lazio. Bacci can't believe the decision.
It was a great reverse pass from Mancini, wasn't it? It was a very good one too. Lombardo playing it into Mancini, keeps his run up, and that was that lovely deft touch from Mancini to stick him in.
Now, what do Sampdoria have up their sleeves here? Jugovic, we know, is lethal from outside the box. Mancini as well.
I think this is Mancini's distance, Peter. He's the touch player, Mancini, and I'm sure he'll take this one.
Jugovic is there as well, but it certainly looks like Mancini. And here he is. Good effort. Well saved, though, by Orsi. A great roar from the Lazio fans. He's done well, this fellow, since coming into the side.
Well, that was a very good save, because if you watch Mancini, he squares up to put it in Ossi's left side, but he doesn't. He uses his eyes to think he's going to put it there and whips it across the face of him. And Ossi stood his ground, let the wall do its job, and made an exceptional save in the finish.
In the meantime, the half-time whistle has gone. So a half that certainly started very briskly. Didn't quite, though, live up to that early promise. Lazio leading by 1-0. The only goal scored by Karl-Heinz Riedler for Lazio after 6 minutes. All the other half-time news in a couple of minutes or so, but first of all, we've got, of course, Gazza's golden goals coming up after the break.
Have a look at these golden goals. 6 of the best scored in Serie A last weekend. Match just your top choice with Paul Gascoigne's and you'll win a super trip to watch Gazza in action against the mighty AC Milan in Rome's Olympic Stadium on March the 14th. Goal number 1. Roberto Baggio's for Juventus in the draw with Lazio. Goal 2, scored by Ruggiero Rizzitelli in Roma's 2-1 win at Udinese. Goal 3, Faustino Asprilias for Parma in the draw with Napoli. Goal 4, Igor Kolibanov's winner for Foggia against Fiorentina. Goal 5, Eugenio Carini scoring the only goal of the game for Sampdoria against Brescia. And finally, Goal 6, Paolo Montero's injury time winner for Atalanta against Ancona. When you made your choice, ring us on 0891 555 444. The first caller picked out by our computer when lines close on Friday week, whose choice of just the top goal matches Paul Gascoigne's, wins a luxury trip for two to see Gaza in action against the Serie A champions and the current leaders AC Milan in the Olympic Stadium in Rome on March the 14th. They'll be flown out on Saturday morning, have dinner and watch a show at a top Italian night spot, receive best tickets for the game as Lazio bid to avenge their 5-3 thrashing in October, and then they'll return home on Monday. 5 lucky runners-up take home this World Soccer Record book, which contains facts and figures about the Italian League and profiles on Serie A stars and others from around the world. They'll also get the latest copy of this highly amusing and entertaining Italian fanzine, Rigore, plus copies of our own Football Italia magazine. This winner of our last Golden Goals competition, Jeremy Mills of Norwich, takes home a newly designed soccer watch and goes into a draw for a trip for two to the Italian Cup final at the end of the season. His choice of the best goal of the 6 shown last week, Nicola Berti's powerful header for Inter Milan in their 2-1 win over Parma. These 5 runners-up also agreed with Paul Gascoigne's choice and take home a copy of the World Soccer Record book. And finally, a reminder of this week's 6 goals. Remember, the lines are open until Friday week. The winners will be chosen then and announced in our next live programme in a fortnight's time. And don't forget, full details of all our competitions are on page 365 of Fortel, Channel 4's teletext service.
Welcome back to Football Italia and the second half of our featured match today from Serie A, Lazio against Sampdoria in the Olympic Stadium in Rome. Half-time, Lazio leading by 1-0, and that was Karl-Heinz Riedler, the German international striker, after 6 minutes. Paul Gascoigne and Signori laying on the charts for him, which Riedler accepted superbly. His first goal of the campaign. Since then, well, the game died a little bit, I have to say, but hopefully we'll have some goals in the second half. Now, other half-time scores for you. No goals yet. Ancona against Torino, or Brescia against Napoli. Foggia, that's the shock. They're leading Milan by 1-0. A goal by Bresciani on 36 minutes. And he is a player rejected once by Milan, so he's returned to haunt them. That's going to be a very interesting second 45 minutes. Remember, Foggia were leading last season against Milan and then lost 8-2. It's Genoa 0, Fiorentina 2, Baiano, the former Foggia player, and Batistuta just before half-time. And it's Inter leading Udinese by 2-0. Pachev and Ruben Sosa from the penalty spot. Juventus 1, Cagliari 0, that's Roberto Baggio on 18 minutes. Parma 0, Atalanta 0, and Pescara 0, Roma 0. So the teams are out in readiness for the second half, and just looking around, one change. Christian Bergodi has come on for Lazio. Just trying to ascertain who he's come on for. I think it was Sklosa who got injured just before the break, so I would think it's him. Signori, Lazio now, they're kicking from right to left. Viekovod. No, there's Sklosa, so he's not the player who's gone off. The captain is still out there. Sacchetti taking the throw. It's not Gaza anyway, he's still on. Doesn't finish too many games these days for Lazio. Gaza, let's hope he lasts at least most of this one. What were your thoughts, Ray, on Gaza's contribution in that first 45 minutes?
I thought he started very brightly. As this half went on, he went further out of the game, but his first 20 minutes contribution was one of high quality. But as the game went on, as I said, he seemed to drift out of the game. Let's hope he can pick it up in the second half.
Fuser's long ball, Riedler climbing high. So often he's the victor in the air, Riedler. Now Manini. Dispossessed though by Bacci. Gascoigne. Couldn't get away from Catanets. But showing some determination to close him down again, Gascoigne.
I think just having a little look round, I think it's Crevero that's gone off, Peter. As we see, he hurt his shoulder there in the first half, and I don't think he's come out the second half.
Winter let it run on. He was a bit fortunate to get away with that, with Mancini behind him. Now Fuser. It's an excellent pass. Signori's clear. And Pagliuca to the rescue for Sampdoria. So quick off the mark, Signori. Terrific acceleration.
Tremendous football. Great ball from Fuser inside the full-back, and Signori was onto it like a flash. But exceptional goalkeeping from Pagliuca.
Corino. Here's Sklosa. The tackle was from Viekovod. Down he goes, and a free kick given to Sampdoria. Viekovod, who'd been linked with Juventus back at the start of the season, but stayed on with Sampdoria. Very much a part of their many successes in recent years. In particular, of course, the championship, the first that Sampdoria have won in their history back in '91.
Yes, a really first-class performer, not only with Sampdoria, but with Italy as well, of course. And there, I think he's just stepped out of the back four to check Sklosa's run, and he's come head-on into him, and perhaps the studs called him above the shin pad.
And just getting confirmation that Crevero has a damaged shoulder. So Lazio having to make the switch at half-time. Begodi, who's also a defender, replacing him. And there was the foul by Sklosa. Lombardo. Manini. Now Invonizzi. Gattarelli couldn't control it. Wasn't the best of passes anyway from Invonizzi.
I think that was the ideal indication there, that where Invonizzi being the defender, that ball forward was of a poor quality, and the balls forward, especially against Lazio, the way they're massing back in defence, have got to be of a slightly higher quality than that ball he pushed forward.
Sacchetti ushered towards the touchline, taking the throw quickly. Jugovic. That time by Winter. Certainly some careless passing by both teams. Jugovic, that's a good strike. Jugovic, who's scored 6 times for Sampdoria, and this is his inaugural season in Italy, and he was very close there.
I think that's turned out to be a very good save, Peter. That Jugovic striking it very well, and there's also, just tipping it around the upright. Difficult one for the goalkeeper, bouncing just in front of him.
Now Mancini with the corner. Should be the goalkeepers. No challenge on Orsi. Now we were just wondering in the first half that we've had I gave her a few calls about the number of steps the keeper's taking. Orsi in particular seems to be an offender, Ray.
Yes, he is. He gets hold of it and just have a slight wander. But I think that's what they do in general in Italy. I've not seen a lot of referees pull up goalkeepers for taking more than 4 steps.
Luzzari. Signori. But they should clamp down on it, Ray. It's international rules. There's no question about that.
I couldn't agree more. But they don't seem to do so, and it is quite strange. It's nice to see the way Sampdoria have come out in the second half. They at least attempt to be trying to press the Lazio players into making more errors.
A real volume of noise around the stadium. Gascoigne taking the free kick. Just hearing now that Foggia missed a penalty against Milan, Di Baggio. So there's quite a match going on there, and they've wasted a chance to go 2 up. Gascoigne's free kick, easily dealt with.
That could be curtains for Foggia. We all know what AC Milan are like. When they're down anyway, they work doubly hard. But now they've had that scare of a penalty been given against them. We could see them step up their game again.
52 matches now, that unbeaten run of Milan's. I wonder, is it all going to end today? Highlights at the end of the programme, don't forget. Signori is on the chase. No, flags up. They're taking risks, though, aren't they, with Signori and his phenomenal pace?
Yeah, they are taking risk, and they don't actually look to be picking anybody up. I think that's the thing with Sampdoria. With the Lazio forward players, they drop off deeper, and therefore they're not being marked directly by a defender, and it gives them that little bit of time to make runs off of people, and a little bit more time to receive the ball as well. I've got to get a lot tighter to them. Just play with 1 spare man. At this moment in time, you can see there's 3 or 4 players marking nobody.
Manini taking the throw. A little bit of jostling going on off the ball. Harmlessly through, though, for a goal kick to Lazio. Now news of another goal. And Cagliari have equalised against Juventus, so a shock brewing there. An own goal by Torricelli, the Juventus fullback. And Roma have taken the lead away to Pescara. And that's Andrea Carnevali, former Italian international, who has given his team the lead. Pescara 0, Roma 1. Bjerkeford across to cover. Playing really well this season, Bjerkeford, hence his recall to the national side. Albeit something of a surprise. 6 Sampdoria players, indeed, in Saki's squad for the recent game with Mexico. Only Signori of Lazio was in the party. Riedler. Manini for Sampdoria. This is Jugovic. Early ball was asking a lot of Bertarelli. On the loose clearance, though, by Luzzari. It goes in Bonizzi. And the free kick given. Cantonets. I think he's taken that one too quickly. Jugovic looking for Lombardo, and the flag is up for offside. Goal action elsewhere. Unfortunately, some rather unsavoury scenes going on here, which we hope the police will quickly sort out. Crowd trouble, I'm afraid, in Rome. Now the goal news. Genoa 1, Fiorentina 2. Thomas Scuravi has pulled a goal back there for Genoa. And, well, Ray will smile at this. It's Foggia 1, Milan 1. Jean-Pierre Papin.
I had a strange feeling they might get one pretty shortly.
You told me at half-time they'll get 5 at least.
Well, they may well do, but this is slightly unsavoury, isn't it? Seeing bottles and whatnot being thrown on terraces.
Gascoigne. Well, let's hope the crowd can concentrate on the action. Maybe a goal or two will help them to do that. Riedler. Bacci. Gascoigne finding Riedler. Now here's Signori. A real test of pace here. Walker against Signori, and Signori's got clear of him. But surely a goal, no! Signori racing away from Walker.
He must have electrifying pace, Peter, because Des has actually got him on his good side as well, on his right side. And he still got away from him by a good yard and a half.
I think it was Saketi who came in to concede the corner with Riedler lurking. Fantastic run though again by Signori. And he left Des Walker, of all people, trailing in his wake. There again Riedler climbing so high. Got springs in his boots.
It's a fantastic jump, but no one's picking him up, Peter. He's been allowed to run at balls and jump. There's someone right on his shoulder, so at least give him a little nudge as he's about to start. A bit of bodily contact would stop all that jumping of his.
Lombardo. Teasing run until it was curtailed.
I'm not saying foul him. All I'm saying is make a bit of contact with him, and it will prevent him being able to run after the ball as he does, and he gets in tremendous leaps. There we see Giovanni Stroppa warming up for Lazio. Let's hope it's not Paul that's coming off.
Well, he has come on for Gascoigne in the past. Started only the one match this season, Stroppa. Another positive attacking player. It's Jugovic with the free kick for Sampdoria. Now off goes Fuser. Signori ahead of him. Gascoigne's gone down the middle, and no one's picking Gazza up. Fuser. Has he taken it too far? Well, the defender nicked in with the tackle.
What an athlete that chap is. He should be a 400 metres runner, Fuser. If he'd have got his head up slightly early, he may well have picked up Paul's run bursting through the middle. But nevertheless, it was a superb run.
And it's Paul Gascoigne who is coming off, getting great reception from the crowd. Bit of a shake of the head then from Paul, but sportingly shaking hands with Giovanni Stroppa, who takes his place. I don't think he was too pleased, Gazza, but at least he kept his feelings to himself. And I don't think he belched.
Well, that would be a bonus, Peter.
Viakova, Lombardo. Here's Bacci. Manini winning it back then for Sampdoria. Mancini. Invonizzi had made the run outside him. Also has Catanets in support, and Lombardo. Good covering though by Sklosa. Stroppa nudged aside.
What a piece of skill we've just seen from Mancini. Not the pass, it was the ball control up on his chest. For all the young chaps watching this afternoon, the first touch in football, and the higher you go, is so important. And Mancini's first touch was exceptional, taking that ball on his chest.
Free kick taken quickly, a bit too quickly really. Oh, Milan have taken the lead now, away to Foggia. Frank Rijkaard. So the fairy tale may not be on today after all. And it's Brescia 1, Napoli 0, and it's Sabao, the Romanian, who has scored the goal. Riedler. Sklosa to Signori. Jugovic. This is Manini. Sklosa in with the tackle, and he was fouled.
That's just sloppy football. That was awful football from Sampdoria. They've got themselves bogged down in a corner. No one got their head up, turned it out and played it across the other side of the field. That was just absolutely dreadful football.
That's Klose has an injury. Well, they've made their 2 substitutions with Bagodi and Stropper both on. So they'll be very anxious that Klose can continue. Sloppy football by Caleri. They've just missed a penalty. That's a Scully of all people. So it's Juventus 1, Caleri 1. And Francescoli squandering the chance there to give his team the lead away to Juventus. Vierkavant with the header. Lombardo. Sampdoria given the ball back. Can't do too much with it. Bergodi. It's a good pass. Finding Fuser. Riedler hoping for the cross, but Sacchetti denying Fuser the opportunity. This is Stropper. Good player, Stropper. Doesn't get too many chances, as I was saying earlier on. But he often does well when featuring as a substitute. Former Milan player.
Yeah, he's a highly talented player, Peter Stropper. Very good on the ball. A lovely ball player. But I think when you look through the Lazio side, they've got so many of them. I think that's why he finds himself on the bench all the time.
And Gaza, what did you make of him then today?
I think Paul can count himself a little bit unfortunate to have been taken off. It was at a time in the game when at least he was trying to get his foot on the ball and get other people playing, and I think Zoff may have been a bit hasty in taking him off.
Manini. Well, Victor was very fortunate then. Of course, Lazio had a game just 3-4 days ago on Thursday, a cup tie which Gaza played in and lasted for most of the match, so maybe he was starting to tire, although I didn't really see any signs of that.
No, I didn't either, and it's only the equivalent of our Wednesday, Saturday, their Thursday, Sunday. So I can't really see where the tiredness should really creep in. Players shouldn't be tired after playing 2 games a week.
Walker doing well there against Riedler. Manini. Here's Jugovic. Manini. Too easy though for Bagodi to clear. And the Lazio fans beginning to show some frustration now. The team aren't really under any pressure, but they're not creating too much themselves. And they are the home side. Vierkavant. Jugovic threading a lovely ball through, and Mancini denied.
Oh, that was a great pass from Jugovic. Nice little build up there from Sampdoria. Beautiful ball through. Great running off the ball from Mancini, but tremendous defending from Luzzardi.
Sampdoria preparing for substitution. I think it's Serena who's going to come on. We'll see in a moment. In the meantime, here is Stropper. Winter. Signori. Well, it was a terrific turn. Didn't quite have the finish to match, but my word, he's sharp.
He really is sharp. He's got nothing else on his mind but having a shot. There you see the turn comes in, and he strikes it very well, but it's just a bit too high.
Now it is indeed Serena, and Sacchetti is the player going off. As Sampdoria look for the equaliser, they've taken off a defender and brought on Serena, who's an attacking player and has featured in almost every match, I think maybe in every game this season, either from the start or as a sub. So he's clearly highly rated by Sven-Göran Eriksson, the coach of Sampdoria.
Yes, I think the last game we saw him play was the Juventus game, and he was quite impressive that day as well.
Injury here for Lombardo.
He doesn't seem too happy, Lombardo, does he? His facial expression is one of being hurt.
Quick piece of goal news. It's Ancona 0, Torino 1. Poggi the scorer. One in the air by Bagodi, but he had to concede the corner. Which Mancini then will take. And the game needs a bit of a lift. Maybe a goal for Sampdoria will achieve that. Fuser away. Signori. He's off again. What a player. Fuser. Too many defenders though. Jugovic able to thump it upfield. As we approach the halfway point in the second half, still just the one goal from Riedler after 6 minutes. And Dino's off. Not too happy, Ray.
No, I think he's saying to Fuser he should have helped it on first time. Obviously, we don't know that's what he was saying, but there was a player breaking on Fuser's left-hand side, and possibly a first-time ball would have stuck him in. But Fuser decided to take the extra touch and, of course, lost possession. The game, unfortunately, is getting very, very scrappy. It needs someone to get hold of the ball in the middle of the field and start people playing a little bit.
Well, that's why it is so disappointing that Gascoigne was taken off. We certainly didn't feel that he was struggling. And he's a player of such invention and flair, he can make things happen. And Dino Zoff has been praising him to the hilt on that very line this week. Now Bacci taking the throw then for Lazio. Lombardo. This is Jugovic. Vinter in the way. It's all a bit scrappy though. Manini. Not the quality we've come to expect from the Italian league this season. Lombardo. 2 touches here and there, certainly from Signori. Just as I say that, he lets me down. And himself. Invernizzi. Stroppa. That was neat control, held off Catanets. Bagodi wanted somebody wide and had to feed it back to Orsi instead. Good jump by first Jugovic. Another goal, Inter 2, Udinese 1, so Udinese back in contention there. Desideri, former Inter player, of course, scoring against the club he left earlier in the season. Sklosa, whistle's gone though. And it's a free kick to Sampdoria. And remember, Milan, the leaders, unbeaten leaders, still 2-1 up away to Foggia. We'll have the goals at the end of this game. Oh, Lombardo! Very nearly nipped in. Looking furious with everybody, Lombardo. What do you think, Ray?
Yeah, I think what he's trying to say is that Catanet's got in his way, but Lombardo didn't really make a determined effort to get in on the second ball.
Mancini with the corner, whipping it across. 4 Lazio players converging on it. Serena. I think the referee has given handball and now wants to bring play back, which hasn't satisfied anybody.
I think that's the 4th corner Sampdoria have had in the second half, and they've not had one player challenge for a header in the penalty box. They've got plenty of guys forward, but they've not got one player that's prepared to get in there and have a challenge for the ball. It's not as if Mancini's putting them in bad areas. The areas are quite good where he's putting them. The only one he stuck in towards his hands wasn't very good, but the others have all been in areas where a challenge is definitely possible.
Serena, guilty of a handling offence again. Former Juventus player out on loan to Verona before his return. Now Stroppa. This is Bacci. Pass from Stroppa, only found Lombardo. And given away by Jugovic. Sklosa. All very untidy, and the game a disappointment, really.
Yes, it's all been quite sloppy when you think of a player of Jugovic who's been voted the best newcomer into the Italian league. Some of his play, especially in the second half, he's given away balls and not shown any composure whatsoever. And that's the one thing that we've come to expect from the Italian football, is the composure on the ball.
Well, that was Stropper showing a lovely touch on the ball. Signori almost getting away from Des Walker, but he coolly stuck to his task well, showing commendable composure, Des Walker.
Yeah, that was good defending from Des. He's obviously very aware that Signori's got all the tricks up his book. He's as crafty as a wagon load of monkeys, and Des defended very well there.
I mean, he must be as tricky a player as you could find anywhere in the world to come up against Signori.
Yes, that's right. Not only is he tricky, but he has this dynamic burst of pace as well, which, when you combine the two, it's very difficult for players to mark him.
The referee Bethin has issued another yellow card, trying to stamp his authority on the game.
That's all
Lombardo.
Sorry, Peter. That's all come about with Manini trying to stick the ball through the legs, I think it was, of Signori. Now he's a defender. He's playing a right back. He'd been better off of clearing that away up the field.
Standing for no nonsense. Mancini with plenty to say. And the referee none too interested. Here's Bacci's throw. Stropper showed for him, but Lombardo making the interception. Now Mancini. Serena. Sampdoria not really threatening the Lazio goal. But surely they've got a free kick here, and Sklosa's going to be in trouble. More goal news for you. Brescia 2, Napoli 0. Eddie Chow, the Romanian. Signori. Good early ball, just too long though for Stropper, who read his intentions, and the pass just slightly overhit by Signori. Catanets.
He's got some work rate through there. He plays wide on the right-hand side, but what he does extremely well is the way he tucks into midfield once Lazio lose possession of the ball. We've seen him turn up many, many times in the centre circle and actually winning balls from that area. And he really is a valuable player to have about.
Free kick to Sampdoria, taken by Catanets. Off goes Manini. They've got to raise their game a notch or two, Sampdoria, if they're to save this one. It's another yellow card. So there's a whole flurry of cautions at the moment. That's one for Sklosa.
Yeah, that was a tight one. Manini really tucked him up there and went past Sklosa as if he wasn't there, and he just lunged at him in the finish. But I think it may well have been better to take Sklosa off rather than Paul. He does look tired. I believe he's not played as many games as he would like to have done this season. And he does look slightly tired.
Great mates, actually, Sklosa and Paul Gascoigne. Sklosa, I think, is the only English-speaking player in the Lazio squad. Jugovic now. Riedler climbing high. Fauzer. And look at the goalkeeper, Aliuko, has come a long, long way out. Winter. Manini. Again, no quality though on the pass. Aliuko was so alert to the dangers as Lazio broke. Certainly aware of the pace of Signori, even with Des Walker covering. Manini, Lombardo, Catanets. Lombardo just keeping the ball in play. And then Stropper away from Manini until he lost his footing. I think the free kick has been given for the trip. count so far. And the game really hasn't flowed in any way, Ray.
No, as you can see by the foul count, and it's been littered really with fouls and stoppages, and it's been a shame because when the game kicked off, we had that exciting first 5 minutes, and the game seemed to flitter away after that. But it's been littered with bad play, a lot of sloppy play, players in good possession of the ball, not really hitting targets which are less than 10 yards away, and it's been a bit of a shame because these two sides are well known for the way they play their attacking football.
Vanini, and both of course battling for UEFA Cup places come the end of the season. Winter.
That was a good chance, that. Bertarelli not really getting hold of that. I think he should have made a lot more of that. It was a good ball into the box, and it was poor first touch that's let him down.
Vanini. A tired pass though from Mancini towards him. Here's Mancini now. Away by Carino. Always the danger that they will get caught on the counter-attack. Sampdoria, Scroppa. Less than 15 minutes to go. Only one goal dividing the teams. But in fairness, Sampdoria haven't suggested on too many occasions that they are going to find an equaliser.
No, they haven't. I personally would like to see Busso come on the field and Mancini drop deeper, because I think Mancini is a great creator of goals, and we've not really seen him in that sort of form today. He really hasn't been in possession of the ball, and if he drops slightly deeper, I think he'd be slightly more involved and possibly be able to create a lot more.
Whacked upfield by Pagliuca. Manini. Here's Lombardo. Jugovic. Mancini hanging back. This is Mancini now. Jugovic had made the run down the middle. Catanets. Again, good skill shown by Mancini. Walker. The Catanets. Last Lazio back in possession, to the relief of their fans, who are certainly getting very frustrated. Not too much happening from their team. Serena. Invernizzi. Serena continuing his run, and it was Fuzet who got back at him.
He's had a tremendous game, Fuzet. He's been everywhere. I think he's been the one bright light in the match this afternoon.
Off goes Lombardo, and they've had to give away the corner. That's Busso there.
Yeah, that was good running from Lombardo. That really, you can make lots of things out of chasing lost courses, and Lombardo didn't really have a real great opportunity of reaching that ball, but he's putting defenders under pressure, and that's when mistakes are made, and the ball wasn't cleared for a throw, and it's cleared for a corner, which gives Sampdoria yet another opportunity to get this equaliser. Let's hope they show a little bit more determination on getting on the end of the ball, which no doubt Mancini will take.
Now it's Foggia 2, Milan 2. Foggia have equalised against Milan. Seno, the scorer of that second goal. They were 1 up, then 2-1 down. Now they pulled it back to 2-2. Anything could happen now. And Genoa have pulled it back to 2-2 as well in their match at home to Fiorentina. Scuravi, I think that's his second. In the meantime, there's another corner for Sampdoria, inflicting some pressure now.
And it's not Mancini taking it. I think Mancini's decided he's the one that's going to get on the end of it.
They've also posted Vierkevot forward. Invernizzi. And Lazio again struggling to clear. Mancini is in there, Vierkevot and Bertarelli. Mancini almost on the near post. Jugovic taking the kick. Surely a push by Invernizzi, given by the referee.
Yeah, it's a crazy push as well. Invernizzi coming in on the back of Signori. They actually had them penned in there. That was 3 corners on the turn. And, a fourth, they may have been get a little bit edgy. but no, Invernizzi comes plundering in the back of Signori and gives away, which was a rather silly free kick.
Now, Renato Busso, who Ray wanted to see on earlier, is making his entrance now, coming on for Cantonets. 22, but he first played as a 16-year-old for Juventus, the golden boy then. Never quite, though, made the breakthrough.
Yes, I think the first time we saw Busso was scoring a hat-trick at Arsenal, I think, in one of the pre-season tournaments.
Mancini's pass.
And he really did look a fine prospect.
He hasn't had many opportunities in the team this season. He wasn't going to get them last season with Mancini in tandem with Vialli, but he certainly expected to play a lot more games in this campaign. He actually only started 4 this season, and he scored twice in the corresponding match of the last campaign. Signori's pass, Riedler brought down by Paliuca, and the referee has given the red card. The goalkeeper sent off, no arguments from Paliuca, and he will just say, what else could I do?
Yeah, that is unfortunate. He's come flying out of his goal. It was a fantastic ball from Signori. Great awareness from Riedler. There he goes. He touches it round the outside of him. Des, unfortunately, would have picked the ball up. He's covered round very well, and he'd have received the ball. The only thing that this gives me the chance of seeing is my old pal Giulio Nucciari, who's the Sampdoria reserve team goalkeeper, and I think he's played about 9 games in something like 10 years of being with Milan, Sampdoria. It's unbelievable, but he's been around and he's been reserve goalkeepers for a number of sides, but never actually gets a game.
I think his last game was at school, wasn't it?
It must have been, yeah. He trains his socks off, this chap. He really is a splendid fella, but no, they're not.
Well, just checking, of course, no, Ray, they can't. No, they've had the 2 subs
They've
on.
had the 2 subs, of course.
Because Busso has just come on, so they've got to put Manini in goal. So you won't get to see
no,
Carl after all.
He's even been foiled there as well. How unfortunate for him. That was great awareness from Signori. Let's not detract from what was a superb piece of football. A great early pass, and the early pass beats everybody. Riedler was onto it like a flash, and poor old Paliuca, he's come flying out and pulled him down.
Well, that's football, isn't it? I mean, only, what, a couple of minutes ago, Busso had come on, so Eriksson couldn't possibly have predicted that was going to happen.
No, that's right. And this must hit the target, by the way. With Manini being in goal, they must test him and hit the target. It's pointless sticking it over the bar. There goes Mancini going back on the line to prevent.
Well, it was Stropper who came in with the shot. That surprised everybody.
My word, that was a bit cheeky from Mancini as well. He stood by the goalpost, and just as he was about to take the free kick, he stepped off the field of play to catch 2 players offside. Now, how would the referee have interpreted that? I don't really know, because he's not allowed to leave the field unless he gets the permission of the referee. That would have been a difficult one for him.
Well, the referee would have needed to think very quickly on his feet then to work that one out. Busso. Lombardo. Sampdoria down to 10 men with the sending off of Paliuca. Mancini's cross. Often happens that teams who are reduced to 10, even 9, battle that bit harder. Invernizzi. Shot driven through. Off goes Signori again. Faced by Vierkevod. And he got the better of him. Manini not tested yet. Serena. Oh, Lombardo very nearly sneaked in there. Oh. Or if Bacci had got a touch, it could have been an own goal.
Yeah, that was a close encounter, that. It's amazing, though, isn't it, when a side is reduced to 10 men, how they pick their game up. It's quite obvious that Sampdoria have to keep the ball away from their end. They don't want any shots raining in on Manini, and therefore they've stepped their game up. Well, it must be 200%. They're actually working and running about and playing for each other now. But again, another sloppy pass and the ball's out of play.
And what about poor old Nucciari now then, Ray? He's got to retire, hasn't he? I mean, that's it. He's waited 2 years for this chance, and the coach brings on a sub.
Well, it was only 2 seconds before as well, which, you know, you've got to feel very, very sorry for him. He's just probably sitting there, and I know him very well. He's a very good friend of mine. He's a lovely chap, and that really is heartbreaking for him.
Here's Manini, the man who has had to go in goal. I don't know what experience he has of goalkeeping. Not much on the evidence of that. He's lined it up anyway. Jugovic, 5 minutes to go. Lazio a goal up. Sampdoria with a man off. Stropper fouled by Jugovic. And Manini has hurt himself in the process of making that pretty dreadful clearance. Signori. Walker. Sampdoria still in there with a fighting chance. So pushing, and the free kick given to Lazio. He's not too happy, is he, Manini?
No, he looks quite distressed. He looks as if he's really done his groin there, but I don't honestly know what he was doing dribbling out that far. We had plenty of time to take a touch and plant the ball down the field. I think it was Winter that put him under an enormous amount of pressure. And there you see the result of someone not doing something simple. The simple thing is always the best thing.
Rossi taking the free kick. Riedler won it in the air. There's Stropper. Walker. Hoisting it upfield. There's Jugovic. Tired header though, but he found Busso, who's had no real chance to impress so far. Lombardo. Now Bertarelli. Winter was there. He's been quietly effective, Winter, not really in a positive way, but he's defended well. Now Vuzer. Signori. It's always a buzz when this man has the ball, and what a pass that was too. Stropper tries to curl it in, does so. 2-0, Stropper.
Yeah, it's a great goal. The important thing from Stropper's point of view was to hit the target, make Manini attempt to make a save. And that's exactly what he's done. He wasn't shut down quick enough, and he just bends the ball into the far post. It would have been a difficult enough save for a goalkeeper to make. But Stropper stuck it there, he hit the target, and that's the important thing when you get an outfield player on in goal. You've got to hit the target. Here we see Lombardo was a bit lazy. He should have shut him down a lot further than that, closed him right down. He realises he's got a player in goal. Here you see he stands off a couple of yards, gives him that opportunity. I think a goalkeeper would have saved it, but he hit the target. That's the important thing.
2-0 then to Lazio. That's clinched it now, surely. More late goals to Juventus are now leading Cagliari by 2-1. Jakobot. And is there time now for Sampdoria to manage at least a consolation goal? And surely it will be no more than that. Lombardo. Collision on the edge of the box involving Luzzari and Mancini, and a yellow card. So Luzzari, presumably there was the offender. Certainly the free kick has been given to Sampdoria. Confirmation, it's a booking for Luzzari. Pescara 1, Roma 1, that's the cheer around the stadium. Lazio's great rivals, the team they share the stadium with, have conceded a goal to Pescara, 1-1. A penalty from Allegri. We're into the last minute. Mancini with a genuine opening here. Always a threat on these set pieces, and he's curled it in. Oh, magnificently done, and so nonchalantly done by Mancini.
He tried it in the first half, and the goalkeeper stood his ground. I think if we watch the replay, the goalkeeper takes half a step to his left-hand side, I think, And there it is, Mancini picks his spot. There he goes, only the half a step. Mancini slings it into the far post. That really is an exceptional free kick. He really is such a talented guy, this Mancini. He could have gone the other side. And in the first half, the goalkeeper Orsi stood his ground and he had no chance. But then he just moved half a yard, wallop, goal.
A goal greeted with stunned silence by the Lazio fans and stunned disbelief too, I would think. So cunningly done, and it's all happening in the last 10 minutes anyway. We're now into injury time, so Lazio aren't quite there yet, but almost.
We should have a bit of that as well, Peter. I think there's been quite a few stoppages, hasn't there?
Signori losing out. Lombardo now. Are we in yet for more drama? Mancini's goal has given Sampdoria a glimmer of hope, and he's forced the corner of Carino. Mancini wants to take it quickly, he can't get the ball. So excitement here right to the last. Mancini taking the corner. Get curled over well, and Virkavant just over the bar. But at least Ray, a challenge.
Yes, that's right. It was a good ball put in. It was a lot of pace on the ball, but unfortunately it was just perhaps half a foot behind Virkavant, and as he stretches back, he's always going to be putting that high over the top. But there is enough time. Sampdoria can still get it back, and we've shown they've got players of immense ability. So let's hope they can really finish this game on a high.
I think for Mancini, though, it can't finish quickly enough. It's a very forlorn figure. Winter. Fuser battling to hold off Serena. Signori ploughing down the middle. Riedler in there too. Here's Fuser. And it was Des Walker to the rescue for Sampdoria.
That's the second time Fuser's done that. We've sung his praises all afternoon, at least I have anyway. And he's got in that position twice now. If he gets his head up, he had not only Signori, but he had Riedler coming in on the back post. And he was a little bit greedy on that occasion.
Stroppa. And he held off Invernizzi, who takes the free kick quickly. Busso. It's all over. The referee has blown the final whistle. Lazio have made it, but only just in the end. 2-1. And much of the drama reserved for the last 10 minutes or so. The second goal for Lazio from Stroppa after Riedler's opener on 6 minutes. And then the late strike by Mancini. A gloriously flighted free kick to give Sampdoria some hope. Not enough, though. And, of course, the sending off, too, of Paliuca, a major talking point. Ray Wilkins looking back on the game.
Yes, I think overall Sampdoria do deserve, should I say Lazio do deserve to win the game. Although Sampdoria only really come to life when they went down to 10 men. I was a little bit disappointed with them. But I think it's a good couple of points for Lazio. That keeps them on the towers of all the leaders and hopefully a place in Europe. A very disappointing game, it must be said. I think the one thing that we've come to realise with the Italian football is the quality. There's the first goal. Now that is quality. That was a great ball from Signori. There we go, missing out the first defender, which is vitally important. Des and the other defender, I think it was Mancini, should have come and attacked the ball, but there's Riedler hanging in the air, whacking it in the back of the net. A really super goal.
And also, which we didn't see there, the pass from Gascoigne that had found Signori in the first place. Now, what about that then, Ray? A penalty, you felt?
Yeah, I did think it was a penalty, and I still think it was a penalty. Virkavant, with all his experience, he really does have a lunge up here. You can see that Signori really isn't going anywhere. He's going to have to take another touch with Sacchetti coming round on the cover, and he tackles across his right foot and brings him down. A pretty poor defending, really.
Well, this was Sampdoria's closest to a goal in the first half. Mancini's lovely flick through there. Bertorelli, and in fact the flag was up for offside.
A definite offside, but once again we see the quick thinking of Mancini. Lovely touch on the ball, and there it is in the back of the net. But as we said, it was offside, and quite obviously offside as well.
Well, Mancini's skill quite breathtaking at times, and this fellow isn't bad either, is he? Signori's away from Des Walker here.
Yes, that's right. He must have jet-propelled boots to get away from our Des. He doesn't really very often get beat in those positions. But there was Riedler darting across the front post again, hopefully to get a touch. And the young defender Sacchetti doing very well to get that away.
So this was the incident then that really brought the game to life at the end, you have to say. It's Riedler brought down by Paliuka.
And looking at it again, he wasn't actually brought down. As he flicks it past him, it's just the arm that stays out. And now that's, you know, he's seen Des on the cover. Now Des is always going to get that ball. And over goes Riedler, getting another professional sent-off, which is slightly unfortunate. And here we see Giovanni Stroppa attacking Lombardo with Manini in goal, the substitute player that's gone in goal. And all he had to do was hit the target, and that's what he did, and the ball ends up nestling in the back of the net. Nice technique, though, from Stroppa. He brings it back a couple of yards, I would have thought, and bends it in the far post.
And here's the final goal from Mancini. What a goal.
Yeah, fantastic goal, wasn't it? You couldn't wish to see a better goal than that. A superbly taken free kick. You know, from that position, you would expect him to go to Orsi's left-hand post, but he doesn't. He uses his eyes to great effect. He knows exactly where the goal is and flicks it into the far post.
Right, other scores. Just checking there. Foggia 2, Milan 2. So the long unbeaten run continues. That's 53 matches now. But, well, Foggia certainly had their moments today. Ancona 0, Torino 1. It's Brescia 2, Napoli 1. Genoa 2, Fiorentina 2. Inter 2, Udinese 2. Good result that for Udinese. And big disappointment for Inter in their pursuit of Milan at the top. Juventus 2, Cagliari 1, Parma 0, Atalanta 0, and Pescara 1, Roma 1. Now, this is the match then, Foggia against Milan, and this was the first goal, and it was scored by Bresciani. So Milan struggling, the goal coming on 36 minutes, and at that stage, well, maybe the shock of the day was on the cards.
They seem quite happy with that one, Peter, don't they? You know, when you think of the height of Rossi and that ball coming in, you think he might have got a... Here we see the replay again as the ball comes across. Rossi's actually going to somewhere where the ball isn't, and it cannons off the bar and Bresciani sticks it in.
Now into the second half now. And that's the penalty. It's Mandela bursting through. He was brought down.
Again, extremely poor goalkeeping there. Rossi, the ball's played a long, long way in front of him, and Rossi should have been off his line like a flash. Here we see it, and you keep thinking to yourself, well, where is he? Where's Rossi? He's nowhere to be seen. He's stuck to his line, and the poor old defender, I couldn't quite see who it was.
Well, there's the penalty, and well, Rossi redeemed himself there. Di Baggio was the player who missed the kick. It's a great save, but a bit too close to the keeper.
Yes, that's right. It was struck firmly, but it also helps the goalie to push it away when it struck that firmly. Good header from Papin. The ball being crossed in, he gets in. He's only a little chap. Again, poor marking. There's Hulit on the ball. As it's flung in, poor marking. Papin in between two defenders. It's got to be said, he heads it very well, but straight over the top of the goalkeeper.
Well, then 3 minutes on, Milan in front. More confusion in the Foggia penalty box. And it's Frank Rijkaard who volleys home. That was some goal.
My goodness, what a goal. Rijkaard really is a star for me anyway. He's one of the best players in world football, Rijkaard. As the ball comes out, he's followed the ball forward and cracks an unstoppable volley. That really is. Both feet off the floor, unstoppable.
Well, your money would be on Milan now, but not so. Rossi fumbling the corner there, and it's Sado to make it 2-2.
Yes, I think apart from the penalty save, Rossi can count himself as having a rather unfortunate afternoon. He's not really kept goal in the sort of manner we expect from a Milan goalkeeper, and that was bread and butter to a goalkeeper playing for AC Milan. And there it is, bobbles through the legs, ends up in the back of the net, 2 apiece.
So at the top of the table, Milan then on 32 points, so they're still well clear. Inter, then come Lazio, Juventus and Atalanta, all on 21 points. Torino, Sampdoria and Cagliari, 3 points, or 2 points behind, then 1 from Cagliari, back there in 8th place. That's how the top of Serie A stands at the moment. The leading scorers, Signori, 17, didn't manage one today. Felt he should have had a penalty though. Balbo on 15 from Udinese. Fonseca, Baggio, he got another one today, and Van Basten, of course, is out of the Milan side at the moment through injury. And then with 9, Detari, the Hungarian from Ancona, and Roberto Mancini with that magnificent strike today from the free kick, taking his tally to 9, and that's well up on last season. He only got 6 in the entire campaign. So just a reminder then of how Lazio won this game. Gascoigne finding Signori, and then Riedler with a header into the corner to give Lazio the lead on 6 minutes. Des Walker and Manini unable to prevent Riedler from heading in his first goal of the season. Indeed, his first for about 18 months now. Then it was Stropper with the second goal. Pagliuca having been sent off, Manini clearly struggling. Couldn't get there. And it's 2-0 to Lazio. And surely the game was won now. But Roberto Mancini had other ideas, as we'll see in a moment after first watching again there.